Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban bik. Our discussion today will still be centered upon these two words. The first one is inna and the second is anna. And these two words are words which are so common in the Quran. And even when you listen to Arabic speakers, you will also hear them often speaking using these two words, innaka, innani, wa annaka, wa annani. So the word anna and the word inna, first, they have the same meaning. They mean verily, or indeed, or even truly, or even surely. They are used to emphasize. That's why we call them, or we call each of these particles as harf tawqid, which means a particle of emphasis. The first rule guiding these two particles is that they are usually introduced into a nominal sentence. Now, what is a nominal sentence? A nominal sentence is simply sentences like Allahu Ghafurun. The word Allah is a noun. Since it is beginning this sentence, it means that this is a nominal sentence, Jumlatun Ismiyah. So when I say Allahu Ghafurun, it means Allah is all forgiving. This is a complete sentence. Now you can decide to introduce any of these two into the sentence. First, you can simply say Inna Allaha Ghafurun. Notice the changes. At first we had Allahu. Now because inna has been introduced into it, it becomes Allah. So we cannot say inna Allahu, rather we simply say inna Allah. Is that taken? Good. The same thing goes for anna. I can also say alimtu anna Allah Ghafurun. You can see anna Allah Ghafurun. I know that indeed Allah is all forgiving. So what this has shown us is that the word inna and anna, whenever they appear before a noun, such a noun will be changed from the original case of it carrying dhamma to carrying fatha. A lot of other examples you can form. You can simply say Khalidun Talibun. Khalid is a student. If I want to say indeed Khalid is a student, you can simply say Inna Khalidan Talibun. Can you see this? Inna Khalidan Talibun. The same way, I can also say Alimtu Anna Khalidan Taliban. I know Anna Khalidan. So if this is taken, then summarily I will tell you that these two words, they are under what we call an-nawasikh. They are under inna wa akhawatuha. There are other four words which also have this rule that whenever they are introduced into a sentence that begins with a noun, the noun will carry fatha and this predicate, which is the word coming after it, will carry dhamma. That is not the topic of discussion because this, we have discussed it extensively in a video link placed above. So do yourself good by simply going there to watch it. Before we move on, Alhamdulillah, I've been able to publish my first book, 1000 Arabic words and their plurals. You can see the screenshot on the board. If you have not purchased your copy, rush now to purchase yours through the link above. And this link will also be placed in the description box. Now, our topic of discussion today is what is the difference between anna or inna and anna. When do we see inna in a sentence and when do we also see anna appearing in a sentence? In the previous episode, link also placed above, we had discussed that of the word anna, where I told you where anna appears in a sentence. Today's discussion will be on inna. When do we have a sentence that begins or have the word inna? Let's come back to our book An-Nahwul Wadih and see what the topic says. Mawadi'u kasri hamza. The positions and places where the word inna, kasri hamza to inna, where the word inna will have the hamza with kisra. The places where we see inna and not anna. Let's see. We have al-amthila examples. The first example says inna nila hayatu misra. Can you see? Indeed, River Nile, the Nile, you know, indeed the Nile is the life of Egypt. Can you see? Inna Nila. Now let's go. Innal kadhiba jubnun. Lying is cowardice. Indeed, lying is cowardice. Let's go. Innal adla asasul mulki. Indeed, justice is the foundation of authority, is the foundation of sovereignty. Let's move on. Number 4. Qala al-muttahamu. Al-muttaham, the accused person, said, Inni bari'un. Indeed, I'm free. Indeed, I'm innocent of this accusation. Let's move on. Kul, say, Innal haqqa wadihun. Indeed, the truth is plain. Let's move on. Number 6. La takul. Don't say, Innal amala shakun. The work is difficult. Don't say that. Let's continue. Zurutul ladhi inni umajiduhu. I visit the one whom I honor. Let's move on. Number 8. Ashfaqtu ala allati innaha jadiratun bishafaqa. I had compassion for the one who is deserving or deserved of that compassion. Lastly, hadara alladhina inna hudurahum yasuruni. I visit, okay, the ones whose presence makes me happy are present. The ones whose presence make me happy, makes me happy are present. Now let's move on. Here we have seen all of these examples. In order to understand why do we use inna in all of the 9 examples and not the word anna, this is what we shall be learning right away. So let's come. Now, ta'ammal kulla mithalin min al-amthilati sabiqa. Study each of the examples from the examples we read previously. Tajid annahu yashtamilu ala inna. You will see that all of these 9 examples contain the word inna. Wasmiha, and even the noun of inna. Wa khabariha, and even the predicate of inna. Walakinnaka, but la tastati'u an tad'a masdaran fi makaniha. You cannot replace this ismu inna with what? The inna with masdar. If you recall, in the previous lesson, I had told you that when you have sentences like yasurruni annaka muti'un, it pleases me that you are obedient. Can you see this sentence? That you can simply change this into yasurruni sedukuk. Can you see? Yasurruni sedukuk. Now, look at the word anna. And the noun of anna and the khabar of anna were simply replaced by the masdar, which is what? The verbal noun, which is sidukun. This is why anna must appear in this sentence. But as for inna, any sentence that inna has already appeared, inna, the noun of inna, the predicate of inna, can never be replaced by a masdar. We are going to see this. Let's come. When we have the sentence, the first sentence here, Inna Nila Hayatu Misra. Indeed, River Nile or Nile is the life of Egypt. You cannot change this and replace the word Hayatu with what? Masdar, as the masdar, Hayatu. If it was Anna, it will be able to replace it with masdar. This is saying that whenever you find a sentence that the noun and also the predicate of the inna there cannot be replaced by a masdar, in such a sentence, it is more rightful that an inna should appear rather than anna. Now, وَإِذَا تَأَمَّلْتَ الْأَمْثِلَةَ الثَّلَاثَةَ الْأُولَى, and if you study the first 3 examples, رَأَيْتَ أَنَّ إِنَّ الْمَكْسُورَةَ الْحَمْزَةَ بِهَا واقعة في أول الكلام. You will find out that the word inna, which has hamza kisra, you will see that it appears at the beginning of each of the 3 sentences. وَإِذَا نَظَرْتَ إِلَى الْأَمْثِلَةِ الثَّلَاثَةِ الثَّانِيَةِ. But if you look at the second 3 sentences, example number 4 to 6, رَأَيْتَهَا واقعة بعد جمل أفعالها مأخوذة من القول الذي هو مصدر. You will find out that each of these sentences, example number 4 to 6, each of them appear after the inna, they appear after the word qala or the derivatives of what? The word qala, which are gotten from the masdar of qala. Now, أما الأمثلة الثلاثة الأخيرة, As for the last three examples, فَفِيهَا وَقَعَتْ إِنَّ فِي أَوَّلِ جُمْلَةٍ الصِّلَةِ وبذلك تستطيع أن تستنبط أن همزة تكون مكسورة في الأحوال السابقة. Now, if you look at the last three examples, example number 7 to 9, you will see that the word inna, it appears in the sentences which have a sila. In the sentences, jumlat sila. In the sentences which have what? The relative sentence as connecting the beginning. Because when we say zurutu ledhi inni umajiduhu. So look at the word alladhi there. It is what? Ismu mawsul. So it is the sila connecting it. So in this sentence, inna can appear. And from this discussion, you have already seen that these are the places where hamza will appear with kisra and coming as inna and not anna. Now, to crown this, let's come to al-qawaid, which is the rules. The first rule says, tuksaru hamza inna idha lam yumkin an tu'awwal hiya wa ma'mulaha bimasdarin. First, the first rule says that the word inna will be made with the kisra, with the hamza kisra, if you cannot exchange or replace the word with also the ismu inna and the khabaru inna with a masdar. If you cannot replace them with a masdar, then it must appear with inna. That means if you can replace inna, the ismu inna, the khabaru inna with the masdar, then you can put anna. وَيَجِبُ ذَلِكَ فِي نَحْوِ مَا يَأْتِي, and it is compulsory that you put inna and not inna in the following. First, إِذَا وَقَعَتْ فِي أَوَّلِ الْكَلَامِ, as long as it appears at the beginning of a sentence. If you have a sentence that inna begins such a sentence, and in such a sentence, you should know that inna should come and not anna. But we have إِذَا وَقَعَتْ بَعْدَ الْقَوْلِ وَمَشْتُقَّ مِنْهُ. If the word inna also appears after qala, the word qawl, saying, or the derivatives, then just know that inna should appear and not anna. Lastly, إِذَا وَقَعَتْ فِي أَوَّلِ جُمْلَةِ الصِّلَةِ. If it also appears at the beginning of a jumlatus sila, of a relative sentence, a sentence which connects. Meaning, if inna appears after alladhi or allati or alladina or alladhani and their derivatives. Now we have tamrinul awwal, exercise number 1.